So I want to show you about bearing, and bearings to do with compasses and directions. So looking at compass bearings for a start. It's basically how to read a bearing from a compass. So of course you should realise that you've got north heading one way, south, west and east sort of thing happening. And you probably may or may not know that NEWS actually stands for north, east, west and south. But you should make sure that you understand what the order is. I always do it north, south, and you just spell west. But some people, like 9 elephants sang, whatever W is, sang weirdly. Probably worth having a little bit of a mnemonic to sort of get that going. So obviously in between here, if you think this is 0 degrees heading straight north, of course, east is going to be, and you always go this way. Let me read these. So 90 degrees, 180 degrees. Of course, you need to be taking these as notes. 270 degrees, and of course, 0 also fills back in as 360 degrees, a full revolution. Obviously, in the middle, we've got northeast, which is going to be 45 degrees. Southeast, and you notice when I go east-south, it comes southeast is again going to be it's about 135. And here again we go southwest. Remember, we go from, once we flip from north to the south side, we go straight to the south side. So the next one in the southwest, of course, is going to be 225 degrees. Of course, over here we've got northwest. It's going to be 315 degrees, isn't it? So you get the sort of idea that those are the main angles. We've got the top north, south, east, west are cardinal angles. Cardinal. Cardinal angles. So next one is explain you how to look at a compass. So when you're doing compass readings, just throw a little compass up here, and you need to take notice of this angle up here. It'll always be the blue angle. This one down here will always change to something different. Just worry about what this one's showing. When we do, when we read, we have to imagine we're in the center and we actually turn, because think about it, the Earth can't turn, can it? Well, it does turn, but we can't turn it. So if we're standing here and we're trying to find a direction, if I'm trying to find north, well, that's 0 degrees. And I'm looking that way. If I'm looking around, I have to turn in the direction. So if I'm following the compass and turning east, it should be about 90 degrees. I've turned east, so I've turned from facing this way, and I'm facing that way, and I've turned on the arc. Okay, as we know that we've got, we can't, well, basically we need to, the way we do it, so as here we look here, we've got northeast and east, and we go southeast. So and we have to follow out the direction there. So if I'm going north, but I'm not going true north, so here, let's say, listen, I went to 25 degrees. Clear enough. So I have to register that bearing as that bearing I just had is north 25 degrees east. Okay, because I'm facing north, but I'm heading 25 degrees east. That makes sense. So if I was north and I was heading, obviously northeast would be 45 degrees. Might all things there off there a bit, but anyway. Here I can go anywhere up to east. Let's go 79 degrees. So here I'm going. My bearing here is going to be north, 79 degrees east, because I'm heading off towards the east, but I'm in the northern side of east. Obviously, if I've gone, sorry, let's flick this thing up. If I'm going due east, of course, I'm just going east. So my bearing now is actually just east. Makes sense. Where this probably sometimes gets a little bit tricky is now when I go south, come on, look it up, I have to turn and face south. So now I'm facing directly south. Oh, come on. Being naughty. All right. So, open that. Sort this out. All right, so yeah, that's sorted out. You face south, so I'm facing south. So if I want to go back southeast, my direction would be 30. So my direction now will be south 30 degrees east. So see now I've turned the protractor, if we look doing the protractor, to face south. So south is like 0. And this is probably a little confusing about it. So now if I want to go back closer to south, I might get 79 degrees then. Oh, come back. So that'll be south, 80 degrees east. The same way around here, if I go, come back. If I'm going, see now, so south, keep an eye on the blue one down here. So I'm going south. So south, 60 degrees west. Okay, makes sense on that. So I start with 0 or I flick that to 0 and work both either way with those. So that's probably slightly confusing, but just remember you've got to turn to face the direction you're going. So you spin around with it. So you're always facing forwards or towards where you're going. Next one we've got true bearing. Hang on, just give me a second, I'll set this up. So true bearing is a little tiny bit different. So true bearing, you basically look like you're working on a compass. So let's look at north, south, west, and east. Grab another compass. So it actually works how you would expect it to. So for true bearing, so true bearing, north is 0 degrees. It all starts from 0, and you'll see it's just like a normal compass, not like a set square. So this time, if I'm going, I just measure from 0. So east is 45 degrees. In theory, 90 degrees, I should say. What am I talking about? 90 degrees. I can make a heading of 131 degrees. South is 180 degrees. West is 270. Southwest is, where am I going to? 231, 230. So the bearings go around into total to 360 degrees. So I'll go, here I'm going, let's just round it, 40 degrees T. is that bearing. 40 degrees true. Now I'm going around at 71. 71 degrees true. And it again. 90 degrees true. I'll show you the gifts. So here I'm going 233 degrees true. So basically you read it off like a round, those 4 round compasses. You just keep on measuring around. Another one, the last one. 315 degrees true. Okay, just moves around from the center. It just measures from north. You just work out how far to spin, then you move off in that direction. So how these can actually work is, I'll show you a demonstration. So we're going here. If I was doing, here's my compass. Let's start off. So my first, I had to head off, and my first thing was I had to go south 30 degrees east. So I would throw my compass up, my point, set that to south, come back, find 30 degrees. Come back. So it's near up to 30 degrees. So I would head and say I was measuring it. So I had every centimetre was 100 metres, say. I had to go 300 metres in, so I had to travel 300 metres south, 30 degrees east. I'd head off in this direction. 1, 2, 3. So I'd get to this point here. So set that line about there. So say it was about there. And that would be my first point, A. Or maybe this is A, that might be B. Now, so I had to travel 200 metres north, 20 degrees east. So I would grab my, where it's gone, make sure I'm facing north now. So now I've got to slide down here. So I'll slide onto the new spot because I'm trying to go somewhere. So I'll go north, what's it, 20 degrees east. And I would head spin up, so obnoxious, but anyway. So I would head north, and it was about 200 metres, about there. So say I was about there-ish. So point C I will have found by heading 200 metres, and so as I said, about that far is about 100 metres. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Now my new bearing might be, well, it might say now, what a question would probably say is, what bearing is A from C now? So you'd put your compass up, you would move it to the C point, north, come around the line at up there, and I can say pretty well, I'll say 81. So I can say it's in a Vaidman rule, that might be 200 metres, say 200 metres north, 80 degrees west. A is from C. So here we do. See how like I put the compass on like in the center point and move around to that. Also, if I was doing if I was doing that with true bearing, you can see I'll set that to 0. So here from A, I would actually have gone, so 152. So in true bearing, I would have gone 152 degrees true. Then my next point, I would have slid this down. I keep it the same in this one. At B, to C, I would have gone 22 degrees true. Okay. Then when I put my point on here to ask what the bearing is, I remember that I've got to spin right around. So my bearing is 280 degrees true. And you've got to have the T on it because that tells me that it's a true bearing. So you see how that works? See the differences between the two? The only thing I need to tell you about is the fact that to convert between them. Obviously, in the first quadrant, basically anything in here is right. So if it's north 30 degrees east, north 30 degrees east, of course, we've got 30 degrees true. And east, of course, will just be 90 degrees true. So here we're a little bit different. When we get down here, we need to, well, we need to realise that that's 180 degrees, so we spun around. So if it's something like south 30 degrees east, we know it's 180 minus 30, so 150 degrees true. Okay, 180 degrees south is direct south. Here, of course, we're adding on. So if it's south 30 degrees west, of course, it's 180 plus 30. So that's going to be 210 degrees true. So we just keep on going around. Of course, you know that it's 270 plus whatever's going this way. So you need to be able to do that. Of course, the opposite true if you're going the other way. Hopefully that makes a bit of sense. Read along with your book and have a go at the questions, which I'll set up when I post this up.